we need to talk about intelligence for a second, because people really don't understand. Like, some people think, oh, you're just born smart or dumb or whatever. Like, this brain's better than that brain. Like, no, that's not how it works. Not at all. The truth is that every thought you've ever had is connected to the higher mind. You've never had one original thought. The brain doesn't produce thoughts. It receives information based on the vibration that you are resonating at right now. Your brain has never thought an original thought. It receives information. I'll give you a perfect example of this, all right? I am, I was going through an interesting bit with my divine counterpart, we'll say, my specific person who I'm connected to. And I wasn't particularly thrilled with the situation. We had what you might call a fight the day before. And my nephew, who knows nothing of this, he's 5 years old, comes up to me and he's like, how come you and your true love aren't friends right now? And I was like, how do you know this? And like, of course, because he's connected to the higher mind, because he's intuitive, because there's nothing, blocking him from that connection. He hasn't learned any programming or anything that would stop that. It's just, it's connecting with a vibration. He was connecting with the way I was feeling at the time. And then he just brought it up. It had nothing to do with anything. Yes, everyone is psychic. Everyone has higher abilities. Everyone is a channeler, because every thought you've ever had is a channeled thought. You are a channel. What are you tuning to? You tune to a certain vibration, a certain and a frequency. And so understand that someone who seems really intelligent, like they pull information really quickly, they always seem to know the right answer. Sometimes they even know things that they don't think they know. And it's because they don't. It's because in that moment, they connected with the frequency of it. They're a very expanded soul, a very wise, older soul that has raised its frequency, raised its consciousness. So it's not like, oh, this child's born a prodigy and this kid was born dumb. It's not like that. The one that seems slower or not as intelligent is really just a younger soul, or a less evolved soul, perhaps. It is a soul that is operating from a lower frequency, but everyone can expand their frequency. Everyone can expand their consciousness. And when you consciously start to do this, someone who might seem slower or not as connected, or always has a foggy brain, is lacking clarity, or doesn't do well on tests, or whatever, whatever it is, they can improve that. You're not just stuck with like this brain that's smart or not smart. That's not how it works. That's not how it is. Your brain is perfect just as it is. It's not, and your brain doesn't determine your intelligence. Your intelligence really is how well do you understand yourself, how expanded is your frequency, and from there, how connected are you to then who you really are, your intuition, the higher mind. And that is what will bring you information when you need information. That is what will bring you just whatever you need. Whenever I make a video, like on my YouTube, follow me at Brian E. Neal 23 if you want to. I make a video and it go 20-30 minutes or whatever with making a video. I don't have anything prepared. I have an idea of what I want to talk about. Sometimes I'll wake up with it running through my head, actually. And I'm not forcing anything. I don't have any notes in front of me. I don't do that. I literally just I have an idea. I set the intention before I make the video. I'm like, God, source, higher self, please allow the words to come through that would best serve whoever watches this. And then I let it fly. And it just flows. And I'm not thinking about what I want to say. I'm not really thinking at all. I'm just letting the information come in and speaking it through. It comes in through my crown, goes down into my solar plexus area, comes up into my heart, and then the words come out because I'm always trying to speak from my heart. I'm always trying to speak through love. So that's just the process I go through. Others do as well. And this is it. I'm not more intelligent than someone else just because I can channel information clearly. I'm just living from a higher frequency, and I've let go of the negative programming and limiting beliefs that told me I couldn't do that I wasn't capable of that. Because I used to think I wasn't. I used to think I would get stuck in the middle, or I would lose my focus, or I would, be too nervous, or that I couldn't do it without notes or a speech written out in front of me or whatever, And that was all just limiting beliefs. When I really came to understand who I am, how I work, how human beings work, how information is received and all that, it just came to a point of, can I commit to that? Can I make that my reality? Can I believe that? And I did. And so now I can make a video. Now I can go up in front of people and speak, and I'm not really prepared in any way. And in fact, maybe I'd consider myself unprepared. And shout out to Fred and the men's group for that one. But but yeah, being unprepared is kind of nice, because then you could just be open to, like, because you don't know what needs to be said. You don't know what needs to come out. Like, you may be speaking to different people at a different different audience, whether you're making a video or in front of an audience or whatever. Maybe what you have prepared isn't necessarily the most valuable thing for that particular audience that's going to see this content. And so instead, if you let it flow and you just trust that what needs to be said is what's going to happen, or what information or what vibrations need to come through, and in that way it becomes very activating for whoever watches it. If you're watching this, you're receiving codes right now. You're receiving light codes, activations. You're receiving certain vibrations. You're experiencing my frequency, and that's being reflected back to you. It's something that's within you as well. And for some people, this may be triggering. For others, it may be like, it may resonate so strongly, and they'll be like, yes, this is awesome, But either way, it's adding value to anyone who watches it. And I believe that's why it comes through so clearly, is because my motivation isn't egoic at all. It's to add value. It's to express myself, but also to demonstrate the intelligence of source and the higher mind, and to demonstrate love, and to inspire people. It's a giving, it's a service, it's wonderful. And the beautiful thing is that I receive so much from doing it, and not just in the form of like likes and comments and support and stuff like that, but just doing it, and then me watching myself watching the video again, I receive more upgrades or activations, or it expands my consciousness, expands my frequency, expands my understanding of things, because now I'm connecting with those frequencies again and again and again if I watch it several times over. And in that way I can learn this topic. I can learn to connect with those frequencies more. And that builds my confidence, honestly. And so making these videos has been very therapeutic to me. I've kind of gotten off topic here. So, but anyway, intelligence is not what you think it is. It's not something that's just innate. It might seem like it's innate because from a young age you could tell, like, oh, this is an expanded soul who's here now. They're living from an expanded a child prodigy or whatever is going to be a very expanded soul, a very expanded consciousness. As where one that seems to struggle or with certain things or whatever, they may be less expanded. But that doesn't mean that they don't have the potential to expand. And so actually when we start putting limitations on children who are very young, and we think, oh, they've got, these issues, or they got learning disabilities and all this stuff. And it's like, it's not to say they don't have certain challenges that other children maybe don't, because of course that is the case. Everyone has their own unique set of challenges, their own blueprint, their own sort of setup that they come into this life with. But we really need to stop labeling children and making them feel like they have a deficiency or a disability or something like it's just not, it's not even a good way to phrase it. It's not healthy. Because if they grow up thinking that, you know, some of them, you know, do rise above that and really love themselves and accept themselves as they are. And others feel shame. And it really, I think it depends on what they learn, what they observe, and the energy of the parents in this situation. But ultimately, we need to be just encouraging and supportive of all kids, whatever setup they come in with, and just be like, you know, their intelligence is not, it's not predicated on the you know, school system. It's not based on what their grades are, or are they good at taking tests, are they good at writing essays. You know, that's not intelligence. Intelligence can come in a million different ways, an infinite number of ways, and we need to let souls expand in areas that they feel called to, that they really enjoy. You know, someone might just have an amazing imagination, an amazing, like, they just live in and create this beautiful world for themselves, and we like train them out of, like, no, you need to get into the real world stuff. Like, you don't know how their gifts are going to apply to the world in their life. Let's stop discouraging kids from being exactly who they are, you know, and realize that all of their problems, their issues, are really just gifts that are misunderstood. And there's like shame or guilt or anger or all these energies put in, like, you know, the parents will be like, why is my child like this? Why are they, you know, like, for no reason, they're just like this. And like, just let them be them. They're gonna be fine. They wouldn't be here if they weren't gonna be fine. You know? But we have to change our whole perspective on all these things, because everything's energy. Nothing is physical. All right? If we go into things assuming that everything's physical and that this is just how it works, this is how things are, and have this very black and white mentality about certain things, you'll never see reality clearly. And even like every study we've ever done, all the research we've done with the underlying assumption that we're physical beings and physical bodies, and there's physical causes for these physical effects and all these things, we don't realize that there's energetic effects, spiritual effects, mental effects that affect the physical body, because the physical body is the last to receive all these changes, is the last to receive the manifestation. When you're doing healing, you'll heal things mentally and emotionally, spiritually, and the last thing to heal is the physical body, because that's just the steps that it goes. The physical takes the longest to manifest because it just takes time. But the other stuff can be done very quickly. It really can. It doesn't always, but it can. So our whole understanding of things just really has to change. And the more we can start to think of things as energy, not physical, but energy and mental, because the universe is mental. It's all being imagined in the mind of the all. Everything that exists is source. And we are consciousness that has been gifted the ability to manipulate energy to create our reality. And when you come from this assumption, from this understanding, everything changes, and you realize that everything is very subjective. And ultimately, what is it that you want to create for yourself? How do you want to feel? What is the type of life you want to live? You are not limited. Whatever lights your heart up, whatever excites you, it can be for you. It is for you. But will you accept it? Will you receive it? Will you put focus into that rather than all the things that don't feel good, all the things that make you feel less than, all the things that make you hate the world and all this stuff, you know? Because these are choices. These are all choices. Are you putting your focus on something that doesn't feel good? It's a choice. It is a choice. Where you put your attention is always your choice. How you perceive things is always your choice. You have total free will. The only thing that thinks otherwise is the mind. As you expand your consciousness, expand your mind, you see how much free will and power you really do have. You were not created as this weakling little physical puny human. You are your higher self. You are a creator. So create something beautiful. Follow your heart. Stop worrying about little what ifs and things like that. And just be yourself. I promise you, you're definitely smart enough to do it. No doubt. No doubt. All right. Much love, guys.